Social media. It's everywhere, right? But have you ever stopped to think about what our relationship with it is really doing to our minds? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into in this explainer. All right, let's just start with a number, 2.5. What's that? Well, that's how many hours the average person spends scrolling social media every single day. I mean, think about that. That adds up to over 17 hours a week.
And look, we get it. There are obvious upsides, right? Staying in touch with friends, catching up on news, just being entertained. But here's the thing. More and more research is showing that it's a real double-edged sword. All that connection can come with a pretty serious cost, linking back to things like anxiety, stress, and even depression.
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start by talking about our digital double. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how this all impacts our mental health. After that, we'll expose some of the psychological traps these platforms use. And finally, and this is the important part, we'll talk about how to take back control. Okay, let's dive right in. What's the real story here? What's the actual, documented impact of all this scrolling on our psychological well-being?
Well, the science is getting pretty clear. Study after study is linking heavy social media use to some really serious stuff. We're talking more anxiety, more depression, major issues with body image, and even attention problems. And the real irony? Social isolation. Yeah, the very platforms designed to connect us can actually make us feel more alone.
And hey, this isn't just us talking. This is coming from some serious academic research. You're looking at a journal all about digital socialization, which is a huge field of study right now. And the consensus is, yeah, these connections are very real, and we really need to be paying attention. Okay, so you might be wondering, does this hit everyone the same way? The short answer is no. While pretty much nobody is totally immune, the data shows that some of us are way more at risk. Who's most vulnerable? Kids and teenagers. I mean, just look at these numbers from Italy. 40% of kids as young as 6 are online every day. And for teens, that number jumps to over 90%. 90. These are developing brains, and they're literally being molded by these online spaces. But here's a really, really important point. It's not just about how long we're online, it's about how we're spending that time. The quality of what we're doing and seeing, that's the real game changer when it comes to mental health. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into our next section, the psychological traps. Why are these apps so sticky, so addictive, and sometimes why are they so harmful? Turns out, it's not an accident. It's all about the design. There are 3 big things going on here. First up is social comparison. You know what I mean. You're scrolling through everyone's highlight reel, their perfect vacation photos, their perfect family, and suddenly your own life feels a little blah. Then there's disinformation. All the fake news and crazy content just dials up our anxiety. And finally, there's just plain old isolation. The more time we spend staring at a screen, the less time we have for, actual people. And when this gets really out of hand, there's actually a clinical term for it. Problematic social media use, or PSMU. This isn't just about using social media a lot. It's when it becomes compulsive, when you feel like you've lost control and it's starting to mess with your real life, your job, your health, your relationships. It actually has a lot in common with other kinds of addiction. So why is it so hard to just put the phone down? Well, it's literally about brain chemistry. These apps are designed to hack our brain's reward system. Every little like, every notification, boom, a tiny shot of dopamine. It creates this endless loop that just makes you want to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Okay, I know that all sounds a little doom and gloom, but here's the good news. We are absolutely not powerless here. So let's get into the most important part. How do we actually take back control and build a healthier relationship with all this stuff? Here are 4 things you can do, like right now. First, just try to reduce your time. Carve out space for real-world stuff. Second, use the tools you already have. Set a timer on your phone to lock you out of an app after a certain amount of time. Third, just pay attention. Notice how you feel when you're scrolling. If you feel bad, that's your sign to take a break. And number 4, this one's huge. Turn off your notifications. Stop letting the apps pull you back in. Now, this next one is so simple, but it is a total game changer. Stay off social media for at least 2 hours before you go to bed. Seriously, that blue light from your screen messes with your brain's sleep signals. If you protect that time before bed, you'll be amazed at how much better you sleep and feel. And this really gets to the heart of it. You are the boss of your own feed. You get to decide what you see. If an account makes you feel stressed out or just bad, unfollow it, mute it, block it, be ruthless. Make your online world a place you actually want to be. So,
After all of this, it really comes down to one simple question, a question only you can answer for yourself. How does social media really make you feel? When you put your phone down, do you feel good or do you just feel kind of empty?
And look, let's end with the most important takeaway of all. If you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, this is really hitting home, and you feel like social media is genuinely causing you anxiety or making you feel isolated, please know that you don't have to deal with that by yourself. Reaching out for help from a professional isn't weakness. It's actually one of the strongest things you can do.